You are listening to an episode of Financial Insight with Rob Wilson. Our mission is to change the speed of wealth creation for you and your family. We invite you to visit our website, IamRobWilson.com. Be sure to like, comment, and share. Now get ready to change the speed.
Create your own wealth with Robert Wilson, the credit surgeon.
Today, I want to go back a little bit. I want to go back to a subject matter. Those of you who are new listeners, this will be new for you, but those of you who have been listening for some time, you've heard me deal with this issue before. But I'm going to deal with this, but I'm also going to bring it back to personal finance. And today, I want to talk about the four type of people that comes into your life. Now, most of us really don't realize the impact that individuals have on your financial life. I mean, we talk about it sometimes. That boy need to get a job, sitting around doing that and always on that sofa. Every time Aunt Susie calls, she always looking to borrow some money to pay her light bill. The co-worker that's always borrowing $2 or $3. You know, on an average, a study, some research have shown that on an average, your coworkers borrow about $500 a year from you, and it's never repaid. Imagine that. You think about it. $5 here, 50 cents here, $10 here, $1 there, and it's never repaid. And it's not just one particular coworker. It could be a whole lot of them. And they all hit you at different times, and you really don't even feel it because in reality, most of us don't think much of a little change in the pocket. Somebody asks, you got any change? We don't think much of it. We don't think much of it at all. But there are four types of people that would generally come into your life in every aspect of your life, in your financial life, in your business life, in your personal life. These four types of people exist. There are takers, there are breakers, there are fakers, and there are makers. And as I told you once before, all of them have some very similar characteristics. It's very difficult to be able to identify a faker from a taker or a breaker from a maker. It's very difficult at times. But at the end of the day, they show who they are. At the end of the day, they will absolutely show who they are. And it has a financial impact on your life to some degree. People who come into your life seem to always have a purpose, an agenda. Believe that or not. And I'm talking about as it relates to finance. Let one of you who are listening to me right now come into a lot of money and notice how even folks who have once been your enemies will be present before you. They have a purpose. That purpose is to get some of that money. They come singing, you remember my song, Money, Old Money? They come singing that song. Money, old money, got to get my hands on some. They come with that attitude, with that purpose. And you know, you, me, we are in a position where we don't even recognize it until our money is gone. You know, it's interesting. The Bible has a story where it talks about the prodigal son and how he wanted his money from his dad, and he got all his riches and his inheritance. He didn't want to wait till dad died. Give me mine now. And he broke away from camp, went on and had a wonderful time. And there were so many people that he interacted. Those people was with him. They was there with him. They played with him. They had fun with him. They ate with him. And when he went broke, they disappeared. They were takers and fakers. They faked their way into his life with purposes that he felt was genuine. 90% of the people that I have encountered with credit-related problems, have encountered a faker or a taker. mostly you find women who are victims of fakers and takers. Yeah. There's some brothers out there. I would throw myself in those some brothers out there category that has been taken as well from fakers and takers. But most likely you will encounter women who have had relationships with men who these women felt to some degree that it was necessary or it was a part of their responsibility to help this brother with his credit. Whether they added him on to a credit card or whether they got a credit card for him on his behalf and gave it to him, or whether they co-signed for something and all of a sudden he gets what he wants and he disappears. She has encountered a taker and a faker. I want to talk about those characteristics because takers, fakers, and breakers are individuals that come into your life and damage your financial life, and they move on. I wish I could give you a formula that you can be able to identify them, but it's not just that simple. But what I can do today, and what I'm going to attempt to do today, is give you some terms and conditions in which you must engage people as it relates to your financial life, recognizing that you will encounter a taker, a faker, a breaker, and a maker. But if you stay true to the terms and the conditions and those basic principles, you'll be able to minimize their damage. One of the biggest myths right now that is really affecting the African American community as it relates to credit scores is how you can piggyback. There was a time, and when I was writing my books, some of my earlier books, piggybacking, and the term piggybacking means basically you are riding the credit of someone else. You are piggybacking off someone else, riding their credit. You are a authorized user or a co-signer on someone else's credit, and now you have the opportunity, okay, to benefit from their activities on their credit. Well, the rules and the laws have changed, even with the credit reporting agencies and how they process these things now and how they are identified. And fakers and takers, this is an area where fakers and takers come in, okay? Fakers and takers steps into your life, and they need someone to co-sign a loan for them. I would love for some of you to call me and tell me some of the stories that you receive or that you have had where someone has convinced you to utilize your good name or your good credit for their benefit. There's a lot of them out there, and I'm not even going to begin to try to act as if I know them all. But I can share with you some that I know that I have experienced myself personally. One of my family members who were in the process of buying a home only had the basic type of credit. Now, a lot of times people don't believe that you could buy a home without having a credit card in your name. You can buy a home without having credit cards. You can use your rental history, if you paid your bills on time with your rental history. You can use your light and gas bill. You can use other utilities as part of credit to establish the fact that you are a good payer as it relates to purchasing a home. Most people don't realize that. It's called alternative credit resources. And you can use those type of resources without having all of these credit cards and other different types of loans to substantiate that you do pay your bills on time, okay? Now, the scrutiny on those things might be a little different, and you may pay a little higher in terms of interest rate, but it is available. It is something that you can utilize to improve the quality of your credit or to purchase a home. But I had a family member who wanted me to add them onto a credit card. And they gave me all types of stories. One of the primary stories that they provided to me is that the broker told them that they would not be able to purchase a home unless they had some form of a credit card on their credit report. And that credit card had to have a minimum of at least $1,500 credit limit on it with a good paying history. Well, even if I added them to my credit card, they would not necessarily end up as an authorized user, okay, or a joint card member, should I say. They would be an authorized user, but they would not be a joint card holder. And under the credit scoring system, in the past, piggybacking, even if you was an authorized user, it would show up on your credit. Well, they don't do that anymore. You have to be a joint card member, okay? You have to be a joint card member in order for it to show up on your credit, okay? In order for it to show up on your credit. And so that was just one of the stories that a family member provided me as being reason for me to use them, to use my credit to benefit them. Needless to say, I did not do it. Dwayne, what's going on?
What's going on, Rob? Quick question for you. When I had spoke to one of your partners before, and I told him I was starting a business, he gave me some good advice, and I actually started putting it into play. But now I've just got a new job, and I'm trying to clean up. I want to get in the process of cleaning up my credit. I got about $9,000 in bad debt, not including student loans. Mm-hmm. But I'm seeing it's very time consuming. It's very detailed. There's a lot of work goes into it that I've been hearing about.
What makes you think it's a lot of detail, a lot of work to go into it?
Because people tell me you got to write letters, you got to send certified letters, you got to argue with them, you got to bargain with them. I don't know, is that true or not, or?
I mean, that's one of the processes. It's probably not the most effective process. And
that was my question. I want to get, considering the fact, I'm going to be working really hard on this new job and I really need to focus. Is there a company or should I trust anybody to help me out with this?
What is your purpose of wanting to improve your credit?
One, for bank loans. For business loans, I want to try to get a business loan. I had spoke to your partner. He told me to move I had money spread out in different banks. He said move it into one bank, start building a relationship with that bank to start building a line of credit to be able to get a loan from that bank.
But what is your goals? But I need to know what your goals. I know the process. But
okay, business loans.
Okay.
And I want get a better rate on my home. Mm-hmm. And let's be able to open up more unsecured credit cards.
What if I told you that those are all the wrong reasons for improving your credit?
I would say I need some education then.
Those are all the wrong reasons. See, understand this. Everything that you desire to have and the things that you just named mm-hmm. that you're pursuing, mm-hmm. all of those things become almost automatic to you just because you pursue financial freedom. And in pursuing financial freedom, one of the biggest aspects of that is having the foundation of good credit.
Okay.
You follow me?
Yes.
It's just, some people work to try to get a loan, and some people are always given loans. Okay?
I see what you're saying.
And they have to put in a hell of a lot of work trying to get a loan. Mm-hmm. But you can do less work just by improving the quality of your credit and building from there. Now, as it relates to the $9,000 that you have in delinquent debt, mm-hmm. you know who the creditors are, right?
A few of them, yes.
A few of them. You don't know all your creditors?
I have to say I have not been as diligent as I should have been.
But you know who you borrowed money from and didn't.
Yes, I do. If I go back to my credit score, my credit reports that I have, their names on there, but they've been changed a couple of times.
Okay. All right, then this is what I would suggest that you do initially, and I'm going to try to give it to you in less than a minute, okay?
All right.
The first thing that I would do is I would determine how quickly can I begin to resolve these. Most delinquent charge-off debts can be resolved for 50 to 65 cents on the dollar.
Okay.
So if you go with the high number, let's say 65 cents on the dollar, so you need minimum about $6,500
okay.
to pay off this debt that you're currently carrying, maybe less.
All right.
So what you want to do is identify bill number one. I owe ABC $1,000. I got $650 available now. I'm going to shoot them a letter and offer them $4,900. I know that they will come back and counter and say, we'll take $6,000. Boom. Get it in writing, pay them. That one is resolved. And then step by step, as you have the money to negotiate, to resolve these things, to do so, you do it. That is the most quickest, most efficient, and effective way of improving your score immediately. I know the other step is to write letters to try to have these items disputed and removed off your credit.
All right.
You can do that for short term, but they are subject to come back on your credit report.
So the best way is
hold on 1 second. I got to get to this news break. If you can indulge me for a moment. Let me get to this news break, and I'll come back and I'll do the other part with you so that you can get the rest of the information.
I want to clarify something as it relates to the example that I just provided. If you're going to pay off $1,000 debt, you're going to offer as much as $650, but your first initial offer should be $490 on a $1,000 obligation, expecting them to want to increase that amount and therefore get you as high as $650.
La la.
And we was on the phone with Dwayne, and Dwayne is in the process of trying to improve his credit. Dwayne, so my last statement to you, or question to you, was asking you whether or not you just wanted to try to delete these things. What make you think that deleting these things would give you an advantage?
I don't know. I thought I knew what the strategy is. You're telling me that it's not. So I'm thinking, I can dispute with you. People told me a whole bunch of things. You don't keep your records, then they have to actually delete it because they can't prove you actually owe the debt. This whole.
I have not yet found one single person that has ever gotten an 800 credit score by doing that, or 750 credit score. Let me bring it down a notch. Now, can you get that done? Yes. Real simple. Section 611 of the Fair Credit Reporting Act says very clearly, okay? If you go to Section 611, and I think it's like subparagraph, well, I'm not even going to try to pull subparagraph right now. I'm kind of rusty.
Okay.
But in Section 611, it talks about your rights as a consumer to dispute information on your credit report and request an investigation. Credit reporting agencies have what they call reasonable time. Reasonable time has been identified as being 35 days to respond to your request. So you can basically file a dispute against a creditor with the credit reporting agency. The credit reporting agency under law is to investigate it, okay? So let's say you owe me some money. My producer, T, is the credit reporting agency, so I report to her that you owe this amount of money. If you're going to dispute it, you would dispute it to T and say, well, hey, you know what, Miss Producer, the information that's being reported on me is not fair and accurate, okay? Then what she would do is come back to me and say, well, Dwayne said that the information that you're currently reporting on him is not accurate. Will you please update his file accurately? Okay? Now, me, the creditor, if I'm involved in something else, if my system is broke down, if my system just reported, it could be a variety of reasons why I do not respond back to T within 35 days. Well, under federal law, if she cannot validate it within 35 days from me, then she is subject to you by penalty under federal law for reporting information that she has not yet verified. Okay? So at that particular point, she will cover her own behind, and she'll take it off your credit because she haven't been able to verify it. And then lo and behold, some 15, 20 days later, I come back and I say, oh, yeah, this joker owed me some money. This is how he has paid. This is the amount that's past due. This is how long he's been established. And I shoot her that information, and she puts it back on your credit report. Okay, so technically, yes, you have the right to dispute information. Technically, things can be taken off your credit report if it has not been verified. But there's a very great chance that that creditors now can update your information quicker now than they could just 10 years ago based on technology. Do you know that you could walk into a Walmart, hand them a check, and they'll give you the check back because they already took your money out of the bank? System 21 allows that. That's technology.
Right.
So you got to know that the technology today in terms of verifying information is there.
Right.
So it's not an effective process. And yes, it can be time consuming because you keep writing letters, they keep verifying, and then at some point they're going to label you and you're going to get deemed, you're going to start losing points because now they're going to put that you have disputed this matter after you've written so many letters. They would say account is in dispute. And that hurts you greater than anything else.
Oh, man. Because I have one of those.
That account is in dispute?
Mm-hmm.
And I bet your credit score, what, about 560 something?
I don't really want to let that go.
I know it, but I bet you ain't over 580.
No. No.
Hello? Reason being, too many disputed letters.
So what's my strategy? What's the strategy?
Well, I just can't coach you because I got a live show going on.
Right.
First thing that I would recommend to you to do is go to Fair Credit Reporting Act. Go to FCRA. Just do a search. Fair Credit Reporting Act. And I want you to go read section 610 through section 617. Okay? It's kind of redundant, some of it, but I want you to understand that because when you understand that, then you'll understand what I just told you is factual. Okay? Then you go back to the first step that I told you. Go back, find these creditors, negotiate a settlement, pay them off, and you'll see your credit improve dramatically differently than what you've experienced in the past.
Thanks, Rob.
Thank you.
All right.
Jason.
Hey, Rob, how you doing?
I'm doing wonderful.
Listen, I got a couple quick questions. How bad do, like, if a credit goes to a collection agency or something like that, or maybe a past repo, 4 or 5 years, how bad does that affect your score?
Well, see, now you're giving me a couple of different scenarios. You say, how bad was something going to a collection agency? And then you say a repo about 4 or 5 years. Well, those are two definitely different scenarios. Give me an example. If you just recently been delinquent with an account, you are now 181 days in delinquency, which is 6 months delinquent, and they send it over to a collection agency, that's going to kill you badly. It's going to kill you badly. One is you're going to get a collection item if they report it as a collection item. Now, I gotta separate these two pieces. You can actually have an account at a collection agency that doesn't necessarily reflect that the account is in collections. It would show it as a charge-off, but it wouldn't show it as being a collection item. Some collection agencies do not report to credit reporting agencies. But those that will report to a credit reporting agency, once that item is received by their organization and reported to the credit reporting agency, it shows as a collection item in public record. So now you're getting dinged 3 times. You're getting dinged for the charge-off, you're getting dinged for the collection item, and then you're getting dinged for unpaid balance. Okay?
Okay.
If it's a repossession and it's 4 to 5 years old, then if there's a balance showing delinquent, okay, then it still hurts you. The repossession, you got hit with the repossession from the first stage when it showed as a repo and a charge off and then a repo. You got hit with that. But because it is unpaid and there's a balance showing unpaid on that, still being reported on your credit report, anything beyond 24 months that is unpaid still hinders and hurt your credit score.
Now, is there any hope that's bringing that score up?
There's a lot of hope in bringing that score up. The thing is, what you have to deal with, if there's a repossession that's 4 or 5 years old, I would suspect that they would take 10 cents on the dollar, negotiate a 10 cent on the dollar settlement with them, maybe at the most 25 cents on the dollar settlement with them, pay them off, your score could jump up 35 to 60 points.
Okay.
All right.
And those collections are just
those collection items are choking you, and because you have the unpaid balance, understand this: things that affect your score is recent, up to 24 months. It goes back from today, 24 months. The only time anything older than 24 months affect your score It's when there's an unpaid balance.
Okay,
You understand what I'm saying?
I got you.
So things that you paid off that was in collections that's over 2 years old, they don't affect your score no more. They're not counted in your score.
Okay, I got that. Okay,
All right?
appreciate it.
Appreciate it. So I'm talking about fakers, takers, breakers, and makers. You know I need it. You know I need some money. Oh, money. Welcome back, guys. One of the reasons why I'm telling you, money, I got to get my hands on something. I got to get it. You know, I ain't got no car to get to my honey. My bills are all behind. Got to get it. What? The money. Yeah, that's just a reminder, guys. I'm taking cash and gas. Y'all thought I was going to say something else, didn't you? But I'm taking cash and gas for the birthday. Okay? I'm just telling you now. You can come in any denomination that you want. I like the triple digits. No, you know what I'm saying? The triple digits. You know, cash and gas. Y'all think I'm crazy. Money, oh money. Hey, listen, you just heard the song. I got to have it. You know I need it. Melanie. Melanie?
Yes, I'm here.
How you doing?
Oh, I'm very well. You should have been on 7585 just now. A bill just flew up in the air, but of course, I couldn't stop to grab it.
Why
but
not?
It's something that you just mentioned that.
Girl, do you know, believe it or not, I was traveling I-20, and it was Father's Day. Mm-hmm. Me and my son was going out for Father's Day dinner, and I was driving in the fast lane, and I saw money in the air. Mm-hmm. Do you know I pulled over, got on the right side of the road, and backed all the way back up to within a foot from that dollar bill?
No, you did.
Yes, I did.
Oh, my.
Yes, I did. Look, I don't walk over money. I don't pass up money, and I'm definitely not going to ride by money. On Buford Highway at Sidney Marcus, pulled up at the stop sign, and as I pulled it up, I was like, that looked like a $5 bill. I backed right back up, looked there was a $5 bill. I got out of my car, crawled up under it, got the $5 bill, and put it back in drive and went on. I do not drive or pass by money.
Oh, so you pulling the Evel Knievel stunts to get that cash?
I will get that cash, girl.
Okay.
That's the difference. That's the difference in why some folks are broke. I know people that walk over that refuse to pick up a penny.
Oh, okay.
Drop one in front of me. See what I do.
I hear that.
I step on it and slide it right on over so you don't see it. But anyway, that's a whole nother conversation. What's going on?
I have a quick question, and actually, it's in regards to the reporting with the credit bureaus. Mm-hmm. Now, is it actually legal for them to report on the consumer if the consumer doesn't have a direct contract with them? I understand that the businesses pay them, but is the consumer actually giving them a right? Do they have like a written contract with the consumers?
Can you break that down a little bit? Because under the law, credit reporting agencies can only release information to people that you have signed a waiver with. And most organizations like apartment complexes, credit cards, anybody that you have an account with, you sign that waiver.
So that's how it's done.
Yes, they got it in their language somewhere that gives them the right to pull and look at your credit. Now, on the other hand, you might receive promotional items in the mail, that someone is offering you a credit card.
Right.
Well, that person did not necessarily see your credit information. What they do is they will send a letter to credit. You could buy information from credit reporting agencies, and someone might say, "I want people with credit scores between 620 and 700 that live in zip code 30310."
Okay.
And then they will sell the name and the address of those individuals. But their credit information is not necessarily revealed, nor is their actual score revealed.
Oh, okay.
And
All right.
and that does not count against your credit report, because some people believe that inquiries will count against your credit report. When you pull your credit report, and when you pull your credit report, you have to be careful in how you go about doing that. For instance, if you go to annualcreditreport.com, you get 2 credit reports free a year. If you go to the credit reporting agencies directly, you get free credit reports. But if you go to a broker or a dealer or anybody and have them pull up your credit, it's going to hurt you.
Got it. Okay. Well, that answers my question.
Thank you.
You're
And
welcome.
next
Thank
time
you
you see some money flying, girl, know what you need to do.
Okay then, Rob.
All right?
All right.
Know what you need to do. For anybody that's going to pass up some money, know what you need to do, honestly. But I started this, at the top of the show off by talking about there's 4 types of people that come into your life: takers, fakers, breakers, and makers. And every one of them have, in some way, an aspect in dealing with your personal financial life, in your growth or your non-growth. Seriously. Takers, fakers, and breakers, they take away from you. And it's obvious. They are willing to get. I know of a situation where I gave a young lady a computer. Instead of them being grateful for the computer, you know what they said to me? It's slow. Yes, it's slow. Now, okay, granted, the computer may not be at top speed for you, but you didn't have one. You didn't ask for it, no, but it was a gift. It was a computer. It didn't cost you anything, and you can only complain that it is slow. Takers, fakers, and breakers oftentimes would be very interested in taking what they can, but they would even be the very one that would complain about anything that they get and everything that they get. Mikey.
Yeah, my quick question is, you've got a credit card that's closed for non-payment, but they keep calculating fees. How do you get them to stop calculating fees?
You cannot. They can calculate fees all the way up to a point of suing you and collecting every dime from you. If you go back and see, Mikey, one of the things, I did a show titled Terms and Conditions. And what I tried to do then was I tried to walk through all 64 terms and conditions that's associated with a credit card or a general contract as it relates to consumer debt. And most of us don't even realize that there's like 64 conditions. But what they do, they cover themselves in that contract to make sure that if you do go into default, that they still have the right to continually charge you the interest, even if they shift this account to a third party. They still have the right to charge you interest. You follow what I'm saying?
I totally follow you. Answered the question brilliantly. My other question is this: without mentioning the name, when I say the Total Money Makeover, what do you think about that?
Garbage. Absolutely garbage. That man will recommend that you sell your car and that you eat beans and sardines versus the real true principles of building wealth.
Okay. Do you have a website or a book that I could look into?
You must be new to the show.
I'm completely new.
Okay.
I'm green as the day is long, but I want to change my habits.
Okay, well, if you've been listening to the other thing, then you understand, that he has this little saying that he'll say, you need to act your wage. Act your wage, not your age. Act your wage. Now, if you are acting your wage and you minimum wage, what is that asking you to do? Never elevate yourself to financial freedom.
Okay.
You follow me?
I follow you.
Keep listening, Mikey. I guarantee you, when you listen consistently, you wouldn't want to turn anywhere else.
You got it. Thank you.
Thank you. And no, I didn't just trash a well-known financial advisor, but I did. If y'all don't know his product, then don't worry about it. We didn't call any names, but that's a piece of garbage. Sell that car. You can live by eating some beans and sardines.
You have been listening to an episode of Financial Insight with Rob Wilson. Be sure to like, comment, share, and subscribe to our podcast. Visit IamRobWilson.com and hear additional episodes. Also, support our mission as we take financial literacy to every house. Remember, every decision that you make either brings you closer to or removes you further away from your financial goal.